You are now listening to Awaken You with Shelley Bond. Welcome to my show where we explore ourselves. We talk about growth, healing, breath, life, yoga, failures and successes, intuition, inspiration, fears, manifestation, books, writing, motivation, food, parenting, inner child work, mindfulness. What are your thoughts? My love for healing with energy work, learning how to love myself, forgive myself, and know my own self-worth. I have a deep well inside to hold space and connect with women. And I have learned that awakening is for us all, especially for those of us who think that it's not. Waking up to our life's flaws and all is possible because, my friends, life is a practice. It's not a perfect. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Awaken You with Shelley Bond. Today, I wanted to just intuitively allow myself permission to show up. My favorite podcasts are the ones where it feels like you're listening in on a conversation, and also just grabbing those little nuggets along the way. This week has been one of those weeks that started out a little slower because we went on a family camper trip into the mountains, and like my family has almost made a tradition, is we get lost on the drive. We got lost on this back road 4-wheel drive with a 27-foot camper. And luckily this time my husband was driving and the 3 kids were in the back. And it was long and bumpy and freaking beautiful. We went near Bailey, Colorado, and it was so just like secluded nature and trees and dirt and rocks and streams and rivers and pure beauty. And we arrived at a campsite and we stayed with some friends. And I am definitely more of an introvert, and I didn't realize there was going to be a ton of people there that I didn't know. And when we pulled up to the campsite, it was a huge campsite that was, at least a half of an acre big. And most of it was carved out for tent camping. And then they had 2 porta potties in the middle and a space with huge logs that you could sit on and create a fire. And we were under the impression that we were under a fire ban because we just were. And then they lifted the fire ban and we were so excited that we got to have our first real campfire of the year. And our friends actually came, and they have just adopted a baby, and he's tiny. Not fully adopted, but they're going through the process. He's only 3 months old. And he has this little tiny pumpkin nugget. And it was so wonderful to see these friends that we hadn't seen for 2 years. And we usually see them about once or twice a year. But with the pandemic and COVID and all of the things, we just hadn't seen each other. And it was so special and amazing because my kids are 12, 10, and 8, and they've been asking me for a baby. And honestly, about a year ago, I was getting up on the baby bandwagon and I was thinking, yeah, maybe I want another baby. And I really was longing for that, even though my husband got a vasectomy when Jack was 4 months old, because when I had a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a newborn, I was like, there's no freaking way I'm doing this again. And it's interesting because now I'm really grateful that we didn't decide to have another baby, because we looked into it and a reversal vasectomy costs $10,000. And Rex just turned 40 and my birthday is T minus 8 days away and I will be 39. And I started having my first baby, Junie, when I was 26. Like that would be such a huge gap. And I have a little sister that I am 13 years older than. And we lived completely different lives. I mean, what was I? I was only with her for 5 years before what? Let's do the math. 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah. 5 years, under 5 years. And then she grew up on her own and I grew up with my sisters. And I know that it would be like that if we decided to have a late baby. And I remember I was with my girlfriend Jess and our kids were playing soccer together and we were at the park and I was sitting there and it was beautiful and windy and the mountains and the trees and the sun and I said, okay, universe, if there is one more soul that needs me to be its mother, then bring me that soul. And if not, I am so grateful for the 3 souls that I am mothering. And I kind of like whoosh, and release that into the universe. And honestly, before every period, I've been thinking, oh my gosh, am I pregnant? What's going on? And then every time I get my period, I'm honestly relieved. Like, oh my gosh. So now I'm switching from that. But where I was coming from was that we got to spend time with a little 3-month-old tiny baby. And my son Milo is the sweetest child when it comes to babies. I've honestly never met a kid like him who just like magnets to babies and loves them so much like Milo does. And he was like holding him and helping and it was wonderful and it was great. And then when it was time for bed, I gotta go to bed on my own and sleep through the night. How, right, a mother of 3 sleeps. I used to wake at like every tiny little dropping sound, and I still find myself doing that, but not as intensely. And especially when I'm sleeping in my camper. If you've ever been in a camper, no matter how stable you have it on the jacks, it still it like sways side to side. And yeah, it was a great trip, but it was busy too. It was like busy and not. And then I was allowing myself permission to just like be in each moment and show up. And then my husband went for a nap, and then his friends went for a nap. And this was the last day, full day we were there. All of a sudden, Junie comes back and was like, Jack and I were fighting and he pinched me and I hit him. And I was like, it's fine, just let him cool off. And there was this little stream kind of on the outer edge of the campsites. And I thought he was just there. And then I just got this like mama hit. And it was probably 15-20 minutes. And he had been tinkering and like playing around nature. And he was being pretty good at staying around and staying near. And all of a sudden, I just like knew it. It hit me in the gut. Like, okay, Jack is not safe. He's missing. And Jack does this ever since he was like 3. And we moved into this house across the street from my sister's. He would go out the freaking front door and walk down the road into the street. Like, and we had mass construction going on in this new build subdivision. So it was scary and dangerous. And I've had so many talks with him about not just running off and doing whatever he wants to do. But Jack is a freaking free bird, and he always says that he loves nature and nature is his favorite. So, long story short, we are searching for Jack. We get like 5 people searching and calling Jack's name. Like we are, like I am going in my mind, like from all of the movies that I've seen where there's like a missing child and everyone is like walking around in the dark searching for the child. And Jack is somehow, in my mind, like huddled up in a ball somewhere, like helpless, even though he is not. He's very self sufficient. And I'm going through all of those like horrible scenarios. Like, oh my God, it's going to get dark. We're going to have headlamps. We're going to get the dogs out here. We're sniffing. We're going to find Jack. I'm going to find particles of his clothing. Like everything that a mom could like run in a fear state in your mind was like engulfing my body. And then our friends were searching, and I kept by this creek. I just had this feeling. I'm like, he's down here. I know he is. And then it was like running through my mind that he like hit his head and drowned in the water. Like horrible things that I was like, Shelly, let it go. Like none of that is happening right now. Right now, you're looking for Jack and you're going to find him. And we're like searching for like 15 minutes. And all of a sudden, I hear someone say, "We found him." And on the edge of our campsite is like a barbed wire fence, those standard ones that have like 1, 2, 3 tiers. So Jack decided to go through the barbed wire fence and follow the stream. And he was, quote unquote, following a fish, even though it was like the babyest, tiniest stream that maybe had like 3 inches of water, maybe some spots like 2. And our friend went all the way around the camper site. You had to go through this wrought iron giant fence that you have to like open one side at a time and heave it over and put a boulder under it, heave the other side over, put the boulder, and then close it back up. And he comes walking back with Jack. And Jack is just so happy. And he has 2 sticks. And he's just like, doot, doot, like hiking, living his best life, feeling like free and so happy. And I like run up to him. And I could tell that our friend was feeling awkward. So he pieced out. And I just like grabbed him and started tearing up and was like, "Jackie, where did you go? You can't do that. That is so scary and so dangerous. What were you doing?" And he was like, "What, Mama? I was just following a fish down the river." Ah, so many things. And I just like grabbed him and squeezed him and held him in tight, like trying not to bawl my eyes out because like, "Jack, come on, man. Like, I'm so grateful that you're safe this time, but one of these times, like, you have to stop leaving." And I had just had this talk with him about at home that you can't just go wherever you want. And he has like a best friend that lives 2 houses across the street and over from us. And he will just take off. And I have no idea where he is. And I'm really trying to allow him to understand that it's not safe for a little kid to go off on their own because, right, we were in nature, mountain lions, freaking bears, creepy people. I'm more worried about the creepy people than I am about nature, which is kind of crazy, but that's how I feel the world is these days. That was just one of those like intense moments where I had to stop myself from moving into all of the fears of the what ifs and just like allow myself to show up. Ah, children throw us through mad loops constantly. And it is just like this ongoing thing. And so right now, like I have, like all of us, so many things going on that I self-inflict. Like I started my yoga teacher training a month ago. And I have been doing school because my kids are now on their summer break. And so I've kind of been like, I have a nice routine for the kids to do in the morning. even though it's a freaking fight every single morning. I have a list and it might be a little lengthy, but I want them to still be in like a summer routine and not just turn into a bunch of stinkers over the summer because I know how it goes. And in the mornings, I'm asking them to, like, they wake up, do their thing, make their bed, brush their teeth. Pretty common, right? Brush your teeth, make your bed. I have to fight them for it. And then I want them to unload their dishes, clean their bedroom, which should be clean from the night before because I really am adamant about keeping a tidy sleep space and keeping a tidy space because the way we feel in our space transmutes like into us. And we can't get good restful sleep if we walk in our room and it's feeling like disheveled and there's crumpled up socks and laundry and dishes and yucky stuff. It's not a space that supports like a good night's rest. And I'm really working at instilling that. And I think I'm doing a great job because really, right, our kids learn more from the person that we are than what we try to cram down their throats, which is a freaking struggle. Because I think innately as parents, we want to be like, this is how you do it. Like, this is how you can be successful at things. And the more I do things like that, my middle son repels it. So part of their morning routine is also writing 11 I am gratefuls and reading for 20 minutes. And that's all. Like, that's all I'm asking for them for the whole day. And then I'm fine with them having kind of like a kid free for all as long as I know where they're at. And we have property around our house. It's not super huge. It's like 0.43 or maybe it's 0.37 of an acre, which in my entire life is the biggest backyard I've ever had. And it's so interesting because in my mind, it feels so small. But when I walk outside on my property, it is expansive. And we have like a few neighbors like sprinkle, 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 sprinkled. It's not like living in Fort Collins and Loveland, Colorado, where it's like house upon house upon house upon house. And like, I want them to have space and be free, but I also want them to keep safe. And so yesterday, I go to get on my teacher training and I go to log in to my courses. Actually, this was 2 days ago. And I can't log in to my courses. And I was at 37% through my yoga teacher training, which I felt like I was crushing it. The program says it takes people anywhere from 3 to 6 months. I'm like, I'm going to rock this out in 2 months. I'm going to do this. I could totally do that. And the program was great, but it wasn't what I was thinking that it was because online said that there was going to be more like accountability and checking in and creating classes and getting feedback from instructors and tests and homework. And I was honestly kind of excited about that because to me, that equals more accountability. In the program that I was in, it was just like, watch this video and move on. So I was making myself like study. I was studying up on the chakras and I learned all of the names of the Sanskrit chakras in 1 week, which I am really impressed with myself. And I will teach it to you because the best way for us to grow and learn is to teach to other people. So the root chakra is the Muladhara chakra, and it starts at the base of the spine and it rushes down our legs and our feet. And right, that's our space of safety and trust and security, and that color is red. And I'm still working on memorizing the mantras and the mudras. I have them like mostly down, and the mudra associated with the root chakra is the ring finger and the thumb. and I need to work on my mantra. And then the next chakra, which I always thought that the hips were the root chakra, the money, no, what is it? Muladhara chakra. But what I'm learning is that actually rushes down from the lower spine. And then the hips up to the lower belly button is our sacral chakra, which I've always called the sexual and creative chakra. And that is orange. And that's the Swadhisthana chakra. And that is related to our creativity, our sexuality, and it is linked to our pinky. And so we can make these mudras with our thumbs and interlinking, right, the pinkies if we're wanting, we're needing healing in this energy center. And the next energy center is the Manipura chakra, and that's above the belly button, below in the lower rib cage region, like below the pecs and breasts, and that's yellow. And that's the Manipura chakra, which is our source of confidence, our self-worth, and that is yellow. And that mudra finger associated is the thumb. And I'm so excited because today I'm doing this from memory and not from notes. So woohoo! And then rising up is the Anahata chakra, which is the heart chakra. And this is something new I learned, that our heart is an extension of our arms and hands, which I kind of innately knew that already from doing Reiki and energy work. And this is our space of love and healing. But this is an unconditional love. It's not that wavering love that maybe we get when we're younger and we like love someone one day and hate them the other. It is like that unconditionally loving part of ourself, and that is green, and sometimes it's light pink, the color. And the heart chakra association is the pointer fingers, and that links us to the air. And I think of that link is because of our lungs, our breathing, and our physical heart are actually all linked and related to the Anahata chakra. And then the next chakra is the throat chakra, which is blue, the Vishuddha chakra, which is our source of communication. And it depends on you and where you are in your chakra beliefs. Some people say this can be a source of creativity. To me, I feel creativity more in the Swadhisthana and that sacral chakra for me. But if it resonates that the throat chakra is your creative space, rock it out. And right, that is our source of communication, like communicating not from our ego, like I'm always right and you're wrong self, like from our heart self, like from our compassion, our forgiveness, like communicating and also speaking our truth even when it's hard, which for me has been this huge journey of healing my heart and my heart and throat chakra have been my big energy that I'm working on in this life. And then climbing up to the third eye between the eyebrows, like a little bit up, is the Anya chakra, which is associated with purple and our intuition, right? And that's that first hit, that first thing that comes to us. That nowadays we get so distracted and detoured by our Anya chakra and listening to ourselves because there's so much noise, and it comes from like smartphones and just being an over consumer because I live in America and we're in such this consumer nation. And if you're in different parts of the world, it might be different. But here it's like everything is coming at us, notifications, emails, all of the things. And I would say if there was one easy thing that you could do to help you tune in to your Anya chakra, your intuition, is turn off your notifications, put down your phone, give yourself limits and restraints on social media, because we must get quiet. We must almost like dance or battle or whatever resonates the mind and be with ourselves. Because if we can't take time with ourselves, time to be in stillness, which sometimes the stillness that we try to take is noisy and over chattery, right? Because the mind is throwing all of these things at us. Like that is good. It's good to be with what is and feel what it feels like inside of your body so you can start beginning that inward journey to that intuitive part of yourself. And again, that's the first hit. It's the first thought that comes to us. It's not the second, third, fourth, seventh, whatever, 20 millionth, because the average person has 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. That's a lot of thoughts. So just encouraging that quietness, that being in control of yourself and not letting your devices control you. Because believe you me, that I know that sometimes I get sucked in that rabbit hole and then I have to be like, no. So I almost make a conscious effort to lose my phone, which I really do, like twice a day, like where I don't even know where it is for hours. I'm like, I'm taking a break. And obviously, if you have work stuff going on, it's not in the cards. But when you get home, instead of sitting and mindlessly searching through everything, like give yourself some space. Like instead of just turning on the TV, which I know myself that I do too with my kids. And last night I decided no screens tonight. And it was so freaking nice. Like my kids went in their room and we have this really cool carpet that has like this light gray and there's these diamond patterns that run up and down it. And the boys were taking hangers and drawing shapes in the carpet, like not drawing, but just like etching them into the carpet. And they were in there for like 45 minutes before bed, just being creative instead of me plugging them into a show and then being like, bedtime. Okay, so moving up to the top of the head, which is the crown chakra or the Sahasrara chakra. And this source is our connection to the divine, the universe. To me, white really resonates with this space. I know it's different. Some people see lavender or light blue or whatever vibes with you. So I'm learning all of these chakras, and this is really exciting too, that I think I knew intuitively is that, so we have these 7 energy centers. And chakras are spinning energetic wheels. So just almost imagine that you have these 7 colorful energy rings that are just spinning and spinning and spinning. And what happens throughout our lives and experiences and emotions and parents and teachers and friends and strangers is we get blocks and locks. And sometimes, right, that spinning wheel is not as spinny. Sometimes it's slow. Sometimes it's even stuck and blocked out. And I can even imagine in the eye of my mind, like a very trapped, stuck energy center is engulfed with like dark, murky, yucky, mucky colors. And it's just like flat. And so through the practice of yoga, we can use asana, we can use breath, we can use mudra, which is those hand gestures, which means to seal like your intention together. We can also use mantra, healing vibrations. We can use affirmations to help us heal and move some of these blockages. And it's exciting because my first teacher training did not really touch on the chakras, like it was barely. And this training is way more in depth. And through the practice, like even standing poses, any standing pose where your feet are flat on the earth, that is going to help heal your root chakra, right? And then moving on up to the creative center, anything where you have like you're in a pigeon or a lunge where your hip is extended. Baddha Konasana, soles kissing soles, where you're externally rotating, which means moving away from the midline of the body. And the midline runs from the top of the head and it kind of slices down between the eyes, between the lips, between the pecs or breasts, belly button, down to the genitalia, zoop, splitting the feet in half. And in yoga, we have these two sides of our body. Our energies originate with our right side, which is our Pingali nadis, and that is our solar, our masculine, our heated energy. And then on the left side of that midline is our Ida nadi, and that is our feminine and our lunar and our cooling aspects. And this was something that I didn't know before, is that we always want to start our asana practice on the right side when it comes to our nadis, our energy, like our big energies, and helping find balance, right? So if you're doing those standing poses, always cue yourself if you have a home practice in getting that right foot, like starting with the right foot first. And kind of wrapping back to my teacher training is I emailed the people in charge saying, like, I'm locked out. I don't know how to get in. And I was getting really upset at first because I had time and my kids were playing. And then I look over and I see one of my books for my teacher training. And then I thought, you know what? This is a great opportunity to read right now. And so reading, I read. I am thinking I somehow must have gotten logged in to the old training that they had available. And it's such a great book. It's called Myths of the Asana. And it's by Alana Kaivalya, who is the creator of the program that I'm taking. And I'm not sure. It was co-written by her. And then there's two other people in there. And it's so cool because it's actually breaking down each asana, which is the movement portion of yoga. And then there's a myth, a story about it with like the gods and the goddesses that really helps you kind of grasp from a different perspective. Because I was watching this video by Alana and she was saying how yoga in America is deeply broken. That in America, we've turned it into a workout. We're like, this is a workout for our bodies. But yoga, yes, it's great for your body, it's great for your health, but yoga is a deeper spiritual practice. Yoga is an inward journey, an inward reflection. It's allowing ourselves permission to be these humans living this spiritual experience, right? Or is that the opposite way around? Or you could say being these spirits living this human experience. And I'm really freaking grateful because I get an email like 4 hours later, and the woman says, oh my gosh, in fact, I have confirmed that you are registered with the Kaivalya method yoga teacher training, and I re-logged you in. And so she re-logs me in, and I get on there, and it is a completely different like curriculum than I was doing at first. And I was at 37%. And I honestly wasn't feeling that great about it because I was like making myself learn and teach. And now I'm on the actual, and now I am getting the opportunity to take the actual teacher training. So instead of getting like mad and snarfily about the time I've spent over the last month, I am allowing myself permission, like to start fresh, to start again. And I really do believe that everything happens for a reason. And right, if it wasn't for that first training, I wouldn't know all of this awesome stuff that I know about the chakras. Like I learned a lot and no one can take that away from me, right? I can only take it away from myself. And it was so awesome because in the intro to the training, Alana was talking a lot about like being a yogi and like on your yogic path. And like, this is a great question if you are into yoga or not. Well, it would be more for yogis is like, are you like, what path are you on? And what does yoga mean to me? It's like, what does yoga mean to me? I love those questions that make me think and like, what path am I on? Am I on a yogic path? Am I actually a yogi? Question mark. And I remember when I first started my teacher training, I was even like skeptical of calling myself a yogi because I felt like a yogi poser because I I'm moving through this, but I have never really been a flexible person. And yoga does not come naturally to me. Like it is hard and it's work. And I have been practicing yoga for 8 years. And when I took my first training, there was poses that I didn't even know they existed. And I felt so awkward and uncomfortable. But this is the thing that I'm doing now versus back when I was like stuck feeling like a victim is that I'm showing up and I am open to growing and learning new things. And it doesn't matter if I've never learned something before, I can learn it now. And right now, where I'm at in my life, like my 39th birthday is 8 days away, that I want to learn this stuff. Like I am like this sponge right now. I'm just like, I'm so open to learning. And it's really funny because just like before this podcast, Jack was in the kitchen and he was telling me how smart I was. And he said, "Yeah, Mama, you're really smart because you went to school." And then I said, "You know what? I'm not really smart because I went to school, because I struggled with traditional school. I was like a C and a D student, and I have not been diagnosed, but I have markers of dyslexia. And I always have, and reading was always such a challenge. And I kind of just like faked it until I made it. And I think too that teachers just liked me because I was sweet and shy and kind. And I think they would be like, okay, I'll just pass this girl. And now I want to learn these things. And so Jack runs to Milo and says, "Mom," or he says, "Mom just told me that she's not smart because of school, and that means we don't have to do school." And then I was like, okay, foot in the mouth. No, that's not what I meant. I meant that school helped me become a more structured learner. Maybe it taught me skills, maybe how to learn things. But there was a lot of things that just went one ear and out the other, through the top of my head, down my feet, like a lot of things, many years, 8 years where it was just like not it was not my space. But now here, like I'm turning 39 and sometimes it's like I'm 39 and I'm still learning and growing. Yes, I'm 30, almost 39 and still learning and growing, and I'm freaking excited about it. And I'm coming back to that question about like, what path am I on? Like, what is my path? My path is mine, right? Yours is yours. It's like this moment to the next moment, and trying not to skip forward and skip past, because I know I do that. Like I just had an amazing massage yesterday that my husband got me for Mother's Day. And it was an hour and a half. And this woman was like incredible. Like I hadn't had a massage since I was pregnant with Jackie 8 years ago. And then I got my husband a massage for his birthday a few weeks ago, and he was not wanting it. So I took it and I went to that one. And that massage therapist it was good and I was relaxed, but it was like a 45-minute massage. This woman, though, that I saw yesterday, oh my, amazing. Like all of these different techniques. And she like got on the bed with me at one point and I felt like I was doing some yoga and breath work. And she would move my arm and my leg, and I could tell she knew like the origin and the origination of my muscles and joints. And she was incredible. But while I was in the massage, of course, my mind is like, oh my gosh, I really shouldn't be here. I should be at home. And then I kept being like, Shelly, you deserve this. Come back. You're okay. And then I would breathe my breath out and I would find this relaxation. And then about halfway through, my forehead was like feeling really uncomfortable. So I kept like trying to resituate. And she was like, if you're not comfortable, you can do whatever you need to get comfortable, which is funny that I needed her permission to tell me that. Like, it's okay to be comfortable, Shelly. It's okay to relax and pamper yourself, which is something that I don't take time for stuff like that, like getting services. I more pamper myself through like my yoga practicing or reading or writing. Like that has been my huge journey. And I know that part of my journey is also giving myself permission to like do nothing and just be, because I struggle with that. Like, I'm a very busy person. I like to keep busy and do things, and relaxation is something that I struggle with. And I said it out loud for the world to hear. And I'm working on it. So, me showing up and getting a massage that my mind kept drawing me to, I kept coming back. It's okay. Be here. Go, oh, ah. And then she did this thing. It was like, pound, 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 pound on my back. And I was like, ow, that was kind of rough. And then I like put myself more in this state of like, I am releasing energy. Like, whew, I am releasing stuck energy in this massage. I was like moving with her movements. I felt like I was like energetically swoosh, 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 swoosh. It was a good thing for me to like take time for myself without my kids, alone, focusing on me, which is a struggle for me, but I'm doing it. And right now, I have been reading Elizabeth Lesser's book, Meant for More, which you've probably heard me talk about. And it is this amazing book, just like helping us cultivate our inner power and how to turn our knowledge into profits. Because I know me and a lot of us, like mamas, we have this block of like our husbands or our spouses make all the money, and that's where it comes from. Well, I have this new goal, this new mindset that I want to make my own money. Not just my money, but money for my family. I want to bring in an income, and I want to see the income grow. And I know that money is just an exchange of energy. Even like that massage, it was like exchanging the energy of money, right? And then she's going to use that money to pay her bills or do whatever she does with it. And I am shifting and growing this. And this really like hard exercise that honestly has stunted me in this book. I've been like not reading it for 2 weeks, was to write a headline of yourself. So think of your path and where you're going or where you want to go. Like, I have this huge goal in my heart and my mind to create a healing center where I live. I want to see it. I'm seeing it every day. I'm like manifesting and working at it. And so I'm thinking of a headline. It's like, if you were like highlighted in an article or on a news show or whatever, what would you want an inspiring or motivating like headline that's going to like grab yourself in when you're feeling down? And I'm trying to think exactly what I wrote, because being a writer, of course, I rewrote it like 37 times in like different ways and switching around words. And I think I came up with inspired yogi on a mission to help women heal, love, and find themselves. Do you like it? Oh, yeah, that was it. Yeah. Inspired yogi on a mission to help women heal, love, and find themselves. Themselves or their selves? Editor Gina, where are you when I need you? I will find the bottom line of that. I felt like that sums up all of my work. Like my work, I'm on this heart mission to help women especially heal on deeper levels through the practice of yoga and meditation, and through healing through energy work with Reiki and crystals. Like, I have this like deep inner calling that I cannot shut off, that I don't want to shut off. It's like, for the first time in my life, like since I've been a mom, I have this thing that's like for me, that I just feel like I have to put this energy and move it towards something. And I know that my healing center is going to come. And right now, I'm being so grateful for the spaces I've created. If you haven't already, you can check out on YouTube Awaken You Healing Center with Shelly. And so, through my yoga teacher training, we have to post videos to share with the instructors, and they told us to upload them as private on YouTube. Well, I thought that I'm on this journey and it's feeling awkward and uncomfortable and whatever. Like, I'm just posting it and I'm sharing it on my YouTube channel. So, you can kind of follow my journey. I'm just starting by putting like video one. So I just uploaded one, which was my intro. And like I am sharing through that, through this podcast. It's like I'm doing these things here today that move me to tomorrow. I'm still creating and making malas and bracelets and sharing my love for Reiki and healing on deeper levels. And the universe keeps showing me signs to support me that I am in the right direction, because just the other day, I was getting a Ziggy's treat for my kids. We take our trash once a week, and I pay my kids in a Ziggy's hot cocoa, almond milk hot cocoa. And this woman was like, "Oh my gosh, I love your bracelets." And I said, "Oh, these? Yeah, I make these." And I showed her my mala, and she was like, "Oh, I love that." And I said, "Oh yeah, I am a Reiki master." And she said, "I love energy work. Do you have a card?" And I was thinking, like, I don't have a card. I tell people things, and then this is something I'm learning from Meant for More, is I need to set myself up for success and have cards. But the thing is I don't really have a space to practice all of my loves like I have at home. And right for now, doing these things from home and posting, but the universe is showing me like there are people who want what you have to offer. And so it's like all of these things are bringing me closer, and I am like seeing it every day. Like, have you ever had a dream or a vision in your mind that just like won't go away? And I am holding that vision. I have even like my sister and soul sisters holding the vision, my daughter holding the vision with me. I'm like growing and expanding, and we're holding it and we're holding it and we're releasing it. I've released it into the universe so many times. And I'm at this space where it's like, trust Shelly. And even sitting here now, I have this feeling that in like 2 years, I'm going to listen to this very podcast and be like, "Oh, I remember when I was in the manifesting stages." And I know it's going to come. I'm trusting. I'm trusting the universe because I'm on this like divine, unique path. We all are. So wherever you are in your life, and if you're feeling stuck, if you are having a lot of pain, if you are struggling in your heart, in your mind, in your body, if you are having injuries, knowing that this is your path and you have to show up for it all, including the painful, the ugly, the messy, the heart splaying open moments where sometimes we have to speak our truth and draw hard boundaries around our loved ones. Like, this is a part of our healing journey. Healing is so much more than we were ever taught. I used to think that it was like, I'm sick or I have this thing going on and I need to go to a doctor, and then they give me medicine and then I'll be all better. And I'm not saying that that's not the right path. Like, there are doctors who are helpful and can help us with yucky things that we have going on in our bodies, even surgery sometimes. But the thing is that we have these deeper, energetic, emotional wounds trapped inside. And taking a pill, putting on a bandage, like eating yucky, unhealthy, undernourished food is only making us sicker and feel worse. And we have to wake up. That's why awaken you. You have to wake up, sister. Wake up to yourself. Wake up to your life because this moment is here happening for you. Maybe the pain in your heart, the lump of hot fire burning in your throat is sending you a message. And I really believe in my heart of hearts that our body is like a messenger and it is just relaying all of the information, all of the thoughts, all of the feelings. It's coming up and it's telling us something. And it's up to us to do something about it. Like, are we going to keep numbing with social media or alcohol or drugs or caffeine or sugar or junk food? Like, are we going to keep feeding the pain? Or are we going to allow ourselves permission to be the pain, to hold space for the pain? And that is why I'm here. I am here holding space for your pain, holding space for your suffering, holding space for your joy, holding space for it all. I am here to help you awaken a part of you that is longing to be loved by none other than yourself, right? You have all of the answers. All of the wisdom inside of you is already here. We just have to wake up. It's like, wake up, sister. Wake up, Shelly. Wake up to this moment. And I promise that we will live a healthier, happier, more fulfilled life when we give ourselves permission to freaking show up, to be authentic, to not mask your pain, not mask your shit, share your shit, connect with people, and freaking draw those boundaries. If you are around someone in your life who is causing you chronic pain or discomfort, just do this exercise with me. When you are in a room with anybody, feel how it feels in your body. Is it feeling like light and free? And you want to run over and hug them and hold them and hang out with them all day. Like, yes, that's a sign this is your person. Or you come in the room and you almost, you repel their energy. You look at your clock, wondering when you get to escape. Like, that is a person that you need to draw your boundaries with. And even if it is an immediate member of your family, you get to choose the people you spend your time with, because this is kind of crazy but true. We are an accumulation of the 5 people we spend the most time with. That is crazy because I spend so much time with my kids and they sometimes are nut jobs. And I'm thinking, okay, I impart them. And I know, though, that they are great teachers of me, for me. My kids are always teaching me how to be present and be joyful. And they're always laughing and they don't really care what's going on around them. I mean, sometimes, yes, but they are authentically who they are. And I nurture that. And I am just grateful to be their mom and to be part of my kids. So I love you, my sisters, my soul sisters, my dear friends. And again, I'm here holding space for you, for all of it, not just the happy, fluffy, puffy emotions. That, right? Acknowledge yourself today. And I encourage your self care practice of this episode is to feel what it's feeling like in your body. Maybe you can give yourself permission to read the signals, right? Like, are you getting stomach aches a lot? All of these physical manifestations are linked to our different energy centers, right? And my daughter has had this foot injury for like 2 months, and we actually have an appointment to go get her a boot today because it's not healing the way it needs to. And her deeper emotional link that I have discovered through the chakras is she's not feeling safe. She's not feeling safe in our home. She's not feeling safe by herself. And it makes me so sad because I do everything to make it feel like a safe space. And this is our journey that I am helping her learn that she can choose to change the way that she's thinking about things. Like she can choose to think that she is safe. And we last night just did this whole practice. And for like 10 minutes, we said, I am safe. I am trusting in the process of life. I am surrounded by love. I am safe. And we repeated that and we repeated that. And she went from being so sad and so upset and feeling, and she just kept repeating, I don't feel safe in my room. I don't feel safe. And I almost had this moment where I snapped at her. I did snap at her and I said, Junie, you get to choose to change that thought. If you change that thought, you can change how you're feeling. And guess what? She freaking changed the thought for that moment and we switched it. And she went from feeling so upset and crying to feeling better and safer. And this manifestation is in her foot, and I have done everything to help her kind of on a more of like a metaphysical level, a spiritual level, an emotional level. And now we do need the help of a boot, and I'm really grateful for it. So many things. I love you so much. And please head over to iTunes and leave a 5-star review and rating, please. A 5-star rating and a review. And yeah, just keep showing up with me. I'm on Facebook, Shelly Bond, Instagram, Awaken You, Shelly Bond. You can purchase a copy of Awaken You with Shelly Bond, From Pain to Healing, a woman's way of waking up to her life. And you too can wake up to your life. And that is available on Amazon. I love you. I'm holding space. And I encourage you to hold this space around how you're feeling. Be with it, allow it, and notice if perhaps you can let a little bit of that go. Maybe you can soften around the pain, soften around the tension, and live your authentic life exactly as you are. I love you. I'm grateful for you. And I will be back here hanging out with you next week. Goodbye, my lovelies.